All right, pre-calculus. Today we are looking at what's called, it's a new distance formula for you. It's called the distance between a point and a line. Here's the formula, D for distance, then it's absolute value, ax1 plus by1 plus c, all divided by the square root of a squared plus b squared. Now, I know it looks messy, it's rather easy to use. Okay, all we do is fill in the blanks. The A, B, and the C, the A, B, and C, comes from the equation of the line, but the line has to be in general form. That's why it's so important for us to know general form. And then the x1 and the y1 is our any point that's not on the line. Okay? If your point is on the line, then this equation distance just becomes 0. How far are you from your house? Well, if you're in the house, you're there. And there's no distance, 0. Okay. So what you're literally doing here is, if I'm looking at an axis and here's some random line in general form, ax plus by plus c equals 0, and here's some arbitrary point, x1 comma y1, we are looking at the perpendicular distance from the point to the line. Okay? Whenever you're measuring distance, it's always done perpendicular to your focus, whatever you're looking at. Okay? So this is the distance that we'll be finding. That's our D, our distance. Okay? So let's look at an example. Well, I want to know how far is, here's my line in general form. If your line's not in general form, then you have to put it in general form. And then here's the point. How far is this point from this line? Okay? Notice we cannot use our old-fashioned distance formula. Remember, your old-fashioned distance formula from geometry is this. Okay? Here's your old-fashioned distance formula. You need 2 points. You don't have 2 points here. Yes, we could find another point, but why would you do all that extra work when we have a nice little formula to use? Okay? We can't forget about this. We will be using it over the next couple of days, but this worksheet that you're going to be getting today is all based on using this equation right here. This formula. It's a formula. All right, so what's my A? Ooh, 3. B, 7. C is -4. Here's your point on the line. Start filling in the blanks. D for distance equals absolute value of all over square root of. It's that straightforward. Doesn't get any easier than that. So we have a 3 times the x coordinate plus 7 times the y coordinate minus the c value. Okay, so it's 3 squared plus 7 squared. Okay. All right, so I just start filling in. 8 goes here, -2 goes there, because that's your x1 and your y1. Crunch out the top, crunch out the bottom, problem's done. 9 plus 49 is a 58, so we get a square root of 58 on the bottom. On the top, what do we have? 24. I'm going to do the work up here, because you could just type it right in your calculator. 24 minus 14 minus 4. So what do we have? 10 minus 4 is 6. Okay? So we have the absolute value, because it's, remember, distance are always absolutes. So we just have 6 over the square root of 58. My only expectation is if you could have cleaned up 58 and reduced it with the 6, that's what you do. But this is a perfect answer. There's nothing wrong with the problem. Okay? So we're all done with the work here. That's easy. That's straightforward as can be. Don't make it any harder than it needs to be. Here's a little bit more challenging one. Number 2. Here's your equation. Y equals 5x minus 2. And the point that's not on the line is a 3, comma 6. Okay? So here's our point. Here's the line. That's Ella whining in the background. I don't know why. All right, so what are we doing here? This is in our wrong format. This is in slope-intercept form. We need general form. So we have to make this say equal to 0. I don't care what you do. Move the y, move all of this. I think I'm just going to move the y. So I have 0 equals 5x minus y minus 2. All right, so now what's your a? That's right, it's a 5. The b, negative 1. That's right, negative 1. And the c is negative 2. So it's just a matter of filling in blanks now. So d equals absolute. So I have a 5 times something. Remember, it's plus. Remember, the formula says plus, but because your b value is negative, I'm just going to put negative 1 times the quantity. And then we have minus 2. All over square root of, remember, a squared plus b squared. 5 is positive, so I'm just going to put 5 squared plus, but because b is negative, use parentheses. If you don't use parentheses, you're probably going to get it wrong. Be very, 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 very careful. All right, so I'm going to fill in my x and my y. So I got 3 and a 6. Don't you guys love hearing my dog whine in the background? I don't know what her issue is now. It's probably another dog outside. Maybe the squirrels are stealing her acorns. All right, so what do we have on top? What do we have? A 15 minus 6 is 9. Minus 2 is a 7. So a positive 7 on top. Right? Yeah, there's negative 8. Yeah, positive 7. What do we got? 25 plus 1 is 26. So square root of 26. So there we go. 7 over square root of 26. Done. Doesn't get any easier than that. All right. Last but not least, I'm going to save some paper. Number 3. What happens if I gave you lines that are parallel to each other? I wanted the distance between parallel lines. So 3x plus 6y minus 5 equals 0, and 6x plus 12y minus 4 equals 0. Well, how the heck do you think we're going to be able to use this formula? By trying to find the distance between parallel lines. First of all, how do I know that these lines are parallel? What do we know about parallel lines? That's right, they have the same slope. What's the slope of this line, the top one? That's right, negative a over b. So up top we have a negative 3 over 6, which is negative a half. Down below, we have a negative 6 over 12, which is negative a half. So these lines are definitely parallel. Okay, so what do I do now? Well, one of these equations, you're going to get your a, b, and c. The other equation, what's the easiest point to get? That's right, the y-intercept. So I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to choose I'm going to choose the top for my a, b, and c. It does not matter. So I'm going to use the top equation for my a, b, and c. So I'm going to write that down. 3x plus 6y minus 5 equals 0. So we're going to use our a, b, c. Then I'm going to use the bottom equation for the y-intercept. What's our format for y-intercept? That's right, y-intercept is negative c over b. When we are in general form, y-intercept is negative c over b. So we have a double negative 4 over 12. So we have a 4 over 12 for the y-intercept. Now, what does that mean for y-intercept, though? Well, if I am on the y-axis, we have to write this out as an ordered pair. By the way, 4/12 is 1/3. All right, so what is this when you redo? How do I write this out as an ordered pair? So what is our point going to be? That's right, if I am on the y-axis, that's right, we're over 0 up the y-intercept. So the point is 0, 1/3. Oh my God, there's a fraction. You'll be fine. Okay, so we have the point, we have our line. Remember, it did not matter which one we used. We could have used the bottom equation for the A, B, and C, and we could have used this for the y-intercept. We would have the exact same answers in the end. When they're all reduced, the two answers would be identical to each other. All right, so I'm going to start filling in. Here's my D equals absolute value, 3 times 0 plus 6 times 1/3 minus 5 all over square root of 3 squared plus 6 squared. Remember, I don't need parentheses around those because they're positive. If they were negatives, I'd be putting parentheses around them. All right, so what do we have on top? Well, I got a 0. 6 times 1/3 is 2. Minus 5 is -3. And here I have 9 plus 36 is 45. Square root of 45. Let's see. Oh, I can reduce this. You guys are in pre-calc. I want you to reduce. So absolute value of -3 is 3. 45 is, right, 9 times 5. So we had 3 radical 5. So we're looking at 1 over radical 5. So our distance is 1 over radical 5. Okay? That's it, guys. You're going to see questions like that in your homework. You'd be straightforward, distance between a point and a line. And then I think you'll get 1 or 2 to do parallels. That's it for your homework, folks. Remember, your equation has to be in general form. All right, have a good day.